Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. And we are back for some juicy MTCC. I nearly forgot the second C there. Sorry, it's been a long day. Now, I think, well, you know how this song and dance goes. I know I said I was going to get some done last week, but unfortunately I came down with a bit of tonsillitis, ironically enough, and it ended up me sounding like a little bit like Darth Vader for the past few days. And I wanted to get them done, not going to lie. I did want to get it done, but unfortunately everything else disagreed with it. So I thought, well, I might as well just play it safe and get it done this week. So it appears to have cleaned up. You might hear me clearing the old voice box here and there occasionally, because I'm not 100% sure if I've fully recovered yet. And yeah, so my apologies for the long wait for another round to do. So there we are. But enough of my woes, because I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear about it. So yes, welcome to round 7 of the MTCC. And as you can see today, we are at the beautiful, stunning, no other word for it, absolutely gorgeous mountainside lake of Lago Maggiore. And I'm not going to lie, this one has a very, very special place in my heart, because I like this track and I've seen quite a few moments, I will say, in here at Lago Maggiore, and we are on the which version is it? Oh, it's the west side. So we're on west side, and we're going to have 10 glorious laps of the west side circuit. So before we get into that, let's dive into things. As you know, if you're a regular for this, you will know that the MTCC is sort of based on, well, it's heavily based on the British Touring Car Championship, in which we have 10 different rounds, all of 30 circuits. All 3 of them are 10 to 15 minute sprint races with a qualifying before all of that. And race 1 will be the grid will be qualifying results. Race 2 will be the race 1 results. And race 3 is the race results of race 2 reversed. So let's get down to the meat of it all and go through the championship. And after 6 rounds, what an absolutely cracking season we have had. And I have a gut feeling that it may be going down to the wire with our 2 championship protagonists, in which after 6 rounds, and in first, leading the championship at the moment, is Homesick Alien with 282 points. In second is Homesick Alien's championship rival, our second protagonist, Binko, on 276 points. So there's only 6 points between them. And I'm pretty sure Binko will be wanting to recover from the disastrous round that he had in round 6. Will he be able to make any headways today? In third, we have Bunny on 210 points. You can see there's quite a large gap between Binko and Bunny. So It's safe to say that those two protagonists are running away with it at the moment. In fourth, we have Boosted on 207 points. He's slowly making his way up in that championship. I think he's a little late to the party to be challenging for the championship win, but I have a feeling he's going to be a major, major thorn in those two rear ends. We will have to wait and see. In fifth, we have Digital Blasphemy on 175 points. He did a quite good showing last round. So is he going to make some headway today? I wonder. In sixth, we have Reader on 172 points. He started off the season really, really well, but we're slowly seeing him drop back a little bit. He did get a podium, though, at... what was it? Autopolis, that was it. He did get a podium at Autopolis, so it's shown that there is still some fire left in Rido. And is he going to make even further ways in the championship? In seventh, we have Big Dan on 149 points. Quite a gap between himself and Rido, but he might be able to still make up those points deficit in the next few rounds. I do wonder. In eighth, we have Sharen on 143 points. In ninth, we have Guesty on 117 points. I think this is a season that he is going to be forgetting about very, very quickly, as that Toyota 86 has been a bit of a handful. In 10th, we have Mrs. Guesty on 106 points. In 11th, we have Koikap on 105 points. In 12th, we have Baze on 99 points. 13th, we have Skyjacker on 82 points, but I think his championship has come to an end as he's had other priorities to deal with and has said that he may not be able to participate in any more races. It's sad to see him off the grid, but as we know, these things can happen. In 14th, we have Harvey on 74 points. In 15th, we have Jokus on 43 points. In 16th, we have Racer Brown on 37 points. He's only shown up for one race at the moment. Maybe we'll see him again, I wonder. In 17th, we have Electric on 35 points. In 18th, we have Silver Star on 14 points. But again, I think real life situations has come into it and is unable to participate anymore. And Madalinsky is in 19th with just the single point, but as we know, he has had technical difficulties. And that is your championship. What an absolute belter it has been. And no doubt it's probably going to get even juicier. So, they've done their qualifying for round 7 here at Lago Maggiore, and this is how it has turned out. And as the sun is beaming down in this great lakeside in Italy, it is a stunner to say the least. And as we can see, once again, Binko has taken pole. Yet again, he is clearly the man with a mission, as he's been getting most of the poles. We'll have to keep track of how many he's got. I think he's getting a bit selfish here with the poles, don't you think? In second, as we said, he'll be the thorn in the side. It is Boosted. He is in second. And look at this. Look who's in third. It is Guesty in the 86. What a great, great place for him to start the grid. Hopefully he'll be able to capitalize on that. In fourth, we have Rido in the Mitsubishi. He's been a thorn in the Aliens' sides recently, so I wonder if he's going to make some great places up today. In fifth, we have Big Dan in the Lexus. I think he's going to be the sole Lexus now, maybe, I wonder. But, sorry, we'll have to wait and see. In 4th, 5th, 6th, we have Bazza. Sorry, I do apologise. We have Bazza in the Alfa Romeo. Then in 7th, we have Koikap in the Hyundai Genesis. Then in 8th, in 8th, I think, or I've jumped for too far ahead, it is Mrs. Guesty in the Mitsubishi. And in 9th, we have Sharon. And that is your grid for this round. And there is no Homesick Alien. Mind you, there's quite a few people missing from this. We've got Joker's Homesick Alien, Bunny's missing, Digital Blasphemy. There's quite a few missing today. However, with the absence of Homesick Alien, this is probably what Binko needs to get himself back ahead in that championship. So he's going to be looking at scoring maximum points today. He'll need to score maximum if he's going to give himself a cracking shot at the championship. So we've got them all lined up. Let's take it back a little bit and then let's get these lights going and let them get going. So the engines roar, the lights come on, and Lago Maggiore is go. And it was a great reaction from Binko there, but the reaction is not enough because Boosted has already gotten himself into the lead of this race, and now Binko's been swallowed by the pack behind him. That's that's Rito getting ahead of him, and Bazza's having a look on the inside as well of Binko as well. Not what he needs at the start of this race, but it happens with the Scirocco. It just does not want to start off the grid, and even Big Dan's having a look about the back of Binko now, but he's starting to drop back a little bit. But that Lexus is a little bit of a slow goer itself, but it's probably more than the Scirocco. We've got Koikap there. Oh, we've had a collision back there. Oh no, it's Guesty. Just when we thought his luck was about to change, and the 86 has decided it has decided to give up the ghost, and he has dropped back to 9th, and he's got to do the catching up all over again. But meanwhile, I'm going to yeah, I had a feeling this would happen, so you'll have to bear with me with it, unfortunately, but these really need doing. But as we can see, Boosted so far is still holding the lead. Binko has managed to get Rito and Bazza at some point in this race, and now he can really start hunting down Boosted for the lead of this race. Rito's keeping tabs on him, though. He's not letting him get away that easily. You can see Bazza just going wide a little bit there, but he's having a good look at Rito. These guys could be in a great shot for a podium as well, and so could Big Dan, and Koikap's in the mix as well. Wow, we've got a great... Oh, I didn't even see that. Koikap having a look on the inside, but it looks like he's given the place back to Big Dan. Maybe felt there was too much contact there. Didn't want to take too much of an advantage out of it, but it looks like it's all said and gravy. But as we can see, Binko is now hot on the heels of Boosted. It looks like he's going to have a go at him coming down the hill. We can see he's tucking into the toe. Wait for him to pull the trigger. Boom, there he goes. It goes around the outside. Boosted is really going to have to make that BMW work. And as we can see, going around the corner, he's still managed to maintain the lead, but it looks like Binko's still going to look around the outside. But now he's having a look around the outside. Can he take advantage of it? No, he can't. Yes, he can. He's managed to get the lead, but is he pulling off too much speed? Coming around the corner, he goes wide a little bit, and Boosted is going to have a look on the inside, coming through the double right-hander. Binko gives him plenty of space on the inside. Cracking job. We'll have none of that. Oh, no, has Binko gone wide a little bit? It looks like he has. He touched the grass, and I think Boosted has actually dropped back a bit. Maybe he thinks he was responsible for that, but he can't be too lenient, because we can see that Rito has managed to get through, and Bazza was having a look as well. So it looks like these four have pulled away from Big Dan and Koikap further at the back. But looking at the front, Boosted looks like he's having a look on Rito. They're all changing places so quickly, I can't keep track of it. And there we go. Sneaks mix up on the inside of Rito, and Bazza's having a look at Rito now, but he's having to go around the outside, and it doesn't pull off, but Rito's coming back up boosted as well. Oh my word, this is MTC at its finest. When you think they're getting comfortable, they're all switching places, and it looks like at the moment, it looks like it's these three duking it out for the remaining spots of the podium. Binko with the lead now is just running and hiding. This is exactly what he needs for his championship at the moment. And now Rito's having a look at boosted up on the inside. Has the inside line, is wrong. They've given themselves plenty of pace. And look at that. Absolutely glorious, glorious racing. Minimal contact between these guys. Oh no, good line in. See that? Bazza's managed to squeeze up on the inside of Rito, and he takes third place, but he's had a clout of the barrier coming on his way out, and now Rito moves up into third. These three, or maybe two now, are swapping places left, right and centre. We cannot keep track of it all. And look, they're coming around the chicane now, and Rito's still managing to hold off Bazza. We can see that a little bit of the paint is missing, so there is a tiny little bit of argy-bargy going on, but it looks like it's all been clear so far, and Bazza's going to have a look at Rito coming down to the first corner after the start-finish straight. Is Bazza going to take advantage of it? Who's braver on the brakes? It looks like it was Bazza, and he's having a look on the inside, and boom! There we go. Bazza managed to squeak his way through, and look at this. The scrapping between these two have invited Big Dan and Koikap into this as well, so are they going to be in this mix as well? This will be great to see, wouldn't it? These four absolutely bashing themselves out to try and get the remaining spots on the podium. Meanwhile, further back here, it looks like Mrs. Guesty is holding off Sharon. We did see that Guesty had that spin for whatever reason, just coming up the hill. And these guys seem to be dropping away from the pack a little bit, but in all fairness, Mrs. Guesty is really making Sharon go for it. We know that Sharon can really take it to the aliens in front, and he's having a difficult time trying to get ahead of Mrs. Guesty, but there we go. Sharon, as soon as I say it, he makes light work of the Mitsubishi driver, and maybe now he can put his foot down and chase the pack in front of him. And Mr. Guesty, should I say, trying his best to catch up as best as he can after that spin on lap one. And you've got to wonder, when will this guy's luck change in regards of that Toyota? But meanwhile, at the front, Binko absolutely running and hiding. He's got the fastest lap. He's got the lead. Look at the gap between himself and Boosted. This is what he needs. He needs to keep the foot firmly to the floor and really get away from these guys to really push himself ahead of the championship, and more importantly, ahead of Homesick Alien. And remember, there's only 6 points between them, so this is going to be perfect sailing for him. Boosted, meanwhile, second in the BMW. You got to feel that maybe the BMW is just a little bit out of its comfort zone here at Lago Maggiore. The short, twisty track will not be helping the powerful but heavy BMW, but Boosted is making it work to his absolute best of his abilities, and it looks like maybe second is the best that he can hope for today, but we still got another 2 races to go, so maybe it could all change. But this is where all the fighting is at the moment for the last spot on the podium, and it is a 4-way scrap between Bazza, Koikap, Big Dan and Rito, and it looks like any one of these guys could end up with the final step on the podium, and it's all to play for. The championship is out of their reach, but there's nothing to say that they can't go for a podium, and with the many people that are currently missing, you think they will want to take every bit of scrapping points that they can get to really boost themselves up. And as we can see further up here, we've got Koikap having a look at Bazza on the inside, and he isn't able to quite make it work, as I'm pretty sure Bazza will be using the four-wheel drive of the Alfa Romeo to the absolute limit, and he's going to show how much good it is. He's going rallying, and look at that, takes it well wide, and he's still holding off in third. Absolutely cracking stuff from our resident Belgian bullet. And look at the pack just waiting to eat him up, as it's saying that Big Dan's managed to make his way through, using the power of the Lexus to really boost himself up. And now maybe he could get a podium out of it. I don't think he's had a podium so far this season. And as soon as I say it, Bazza moves up as well. These guys are constantly swapping places. As soon as one person gets it, they turn a corner and somebody else has got it. But we'll stick with these four because this is where the juicy action is, and this is where the juicy action will stay. But so far, Bazza is maintaining that third, and now he's dealt with the pressure of Big Dan, who was in third at one point and now has dropped to sixth. But it looks like Bazza may be the one to bring it home for third. I think he'd love a good third here in the solo Alfa Romeo at the moment, with the absence of Homesick Alien. But I'm sure these three will want to have a say in the matter, and there's no telling who's going to end up with third at the end of it. Koikap as well, he is constantly being knocking on the doors of the podium. It's just things have not gone his way in regards to a few mishaps on track, we'll say, here and there, all not his own fault. A few of them may have been his fault, a few of them may not have been, but he's just been knocking on the podium and it's just not worked out for him. And as we can see, he's having a dancing duel between himself and Big Dan, to say the least. Big Dan pulls the trigger and he's going to have a look at Koikap going round the outside, and it's not going to work for him, but we know Big Dan's going to cut back and it doesn't quite work this time around. But Rito is really going to have to keep his eye on that mirror. He's going to look forward and backwards because he can't afford to let Bazza disappear into the distance, because that will be his podium long gone. But he's got to keep an eye behind him as well, because we know that Koikap and Big Dan will be threatening. And ooh, there we go, we were close to Koikap seeking his way through there, but he has managed to hold off so far. But it looks like this is just what Bazza needs, all that fighting. He's able to just keep his head down, keep the car pointing in the right direction, and he's pulled up a little gap between himself and Rito. Maybe we'll get a Bazza podium. That would be absolutely fantastic to see, wouldn't it? Oh, we can see further back here, Big Dan and Koikap are having another little dance again, and it looks like Koikap has managed to come off the more successful this time around. But these guys are going to have to be careful, because all this scrapping is bringing Sharon into the play, and we know that he can be quick in that Hyundai. But with only 2 laps remaining, I don't know if he's going to make any form of headway between them. But one small mistake from them could completely change everything. Mr. Guesty has got ahead of Mrs. Guesty. We're not quite sure what's happened. Maybe just the pure pace of Guesty being able to bring himself back into this. But I think it's long over with only coming up to just 2 laps to go. I think it may be a tall order for him to get back to it. But so far, let us cut to the front. Binko has absolutely disappeared. He has left the chat and is saying, good luck, chaps. I've got a championship to think of, and I am taking no prisoners today. Boosted in second as well. It just looks like it's not going to be his day, but with not another 2 races to go, maybe he could make some form of difference and be a thorn in Binko's side today. In third, currently, we have Bazza, but that could all change, as it appears that Rito has managed to catch up Bazza and left Koikap and Big Dan behind. So now that he can concentrate on stealing the third place from Bazza and ruining the little Belgium's party of a possible podium. It could be Bazza saying, you know what, Homesick, I know you're not here today for, I think he was on his hollybobs if I remember, so I'm pretty sure Homesick Alien will be watching this on his holidays thinking, come on guys, somebody please be able to catch up Binko. I don't want this big of a gap. But it looks like he's just too strong today. But I'm sure Bazza is flying the flag for Alfa Romeo well, and he is doing a good job of it so far, holding off Rido for third place. So it looks like that we will still have a Alfa Romeo on the podium. Or is Rido going to have something to say about that? At the back here, we've got a little scrap of irons between Koikart, Big Dan and Shiren. Shiren has managed to catch these three up, so he could still get a handful of points as Big Dan just goes a little bit wide there. Is it going to invite Shiren to pull on through? It looks like it's not going to work. Big Dan goes defensive, but he's going to have to go deep into the corner, and it looks like he's compromised him a little bit there, but he's not been able to get ahead of Shiren. He's managed to hold it off, but Shiren's now got the inside coming up to the tight left-hand corner, and there we go. Shiren has managed to squeeze his way through. Big Dan late on the brakes, great on the lunge, but it just wasn't enough, and Shiren has managed to take the 6th place and has now got his sights firmly set on his fellow Hyundai teammate in front of him, Koikart. But is Koikart going to be able to hold off the Russian sensation for just half a lap longer? We will have to wait and see. As we can see, Koikart goes defensive to defend against his teammate, but it looks like, it did say that Shiren managed to get ahead, but there we go. Koikart goes onto the inside and Shiren's trying to do the switchback, but it is not working. But he's going to go a long way around, but it looks like Shiren may steal the 5th place right at the dead of... Oh, and Koikart's gone wide a little bit. Maybe that have been Shiren, I don't know, but we'll have to cut to the leader as he comes through to take race 1 victory. Binko, clearly he takes the win. Lost track of words there. Boosted comes home in 2nd. That's probably the best that he would get from this race, but well done to Boosted. Bazza has managed to hold off Rido and sails the flag of Alfa Romeo to take them onto the podium for 3rd. Rido comes home in 4th. Koikart manages to hold off Shiren for 5th. Shiren in 6th. Guesty comes home in 7th, and Big Dan comes... Oh, he drops right at the end. He must have made a small mistake, and he has dropped to 8th. And Mrs. Guesty, she was at a tall order for it today, but there we go. She comes home in 9th. Oh, we can breathe now. And there we go. Binko takes the race 1 victory. And what can you say about that? Look at those lap times. 27.1, 27.1, 27.1, 27.2, 27.3, 27.6, 27.6 and a 28.0. That man is on an absolute mission and a half and has clearly made a statement to his competitors today on just how quick he can be around this track. That is some seriously consistency. Oh, God. Cut some ballast on this man, for crying out loud. I think he's cheating somehow. That's not Boosted. Oh, I guess that'll have to do. So Boosted comes home in 2nd, also fairly consistent as well. Has some impressive consistency from our BMW driver who comes home in 2nd. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that one. And Bazza, what can you say? He's really, really flying the flag for Alfa Romeo, puts it in 3rd. That's going to be great for his championship point haul, no doubt. Rido comes home in 4th, so yeah, that's how it was. Rido comes home in 4th for the Mitsubishi, and wow, he really wore that front left tire. Oh, that's a good point. That's roundabout normal. Yeah, Bass's managed to use his fronts a little bit. Rido's nearly destroyed him. That's maybe why he dropped back a little bit by the end of it. Koikart as well comes home in 5th. What a hard-fought 5th. To be fair, Bazza, Rido, Koikart and Big Dan, who finished 8th, they had a scrap and a half for the majority of that race. So hats off to the guys who may not have had a podium out of it, but they should well deserve one after all that long, hard fighting they had. Shiren, wow, he was 2nd to last at one point. He has just put his foot down and really managed to catch himself up. to 6. So it was a great recovery drive. He's got some good points out of it as well. Guesty as well, he was way off the pack after that spin on lap 1, has managed to catch himself up into 7th. Big Dan as well must have had a small incident on that last lap, actually. As we can see, he did a 132. So it knocked him out of contention and put him down into 8th. And Mrs. Guesty bringing up the rear in 9th. But to be fair, 9th is still maybe last, but that's going to be some good points for her at the end of the day. And that's race 1. We've still got race 2 to do. Wow. Right. We know the drill with this one. That's not what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Right. You know the rules for this bit, and oh god, I feel tired now. Oh, it's been a lot. I've had a don't do it. There we go. Right. Ooh, quickly. Oh, hang on a second. The liquid refreshments, they're underrated. So, as we know, race 2 and the grid is the race 1 results. So, as we can see, Binko is on pole again. We've boosted in 2nd, so the front row starting as they did. Bazza moves up into 3rd, and Rido is in 4th. Koikap 5th, Sharen in 6th. Guesty in 7th, Big Dan in 8th, and Mrs. Guesty in 9th. So, I'll tell you what, that is a cracking view of the grid, isn't it? That's absolutely that's a great view. So let's get these guys underway for race 2. And oh no, it looks like Rido jumped the start there. Oh, it's gone already. And look at that, Bazza with the absolutely lightning start in the Alfa Romeo takes the lead of this race as Binko starts dropping back yet again. But Boosted has managed to stay in 2nd. That BMW not the quickest of starters, but it's not the slowest either. I think somebody can attest to the slowest start in the grid so far. Well, but Bazza so far at the moment has absolutely launched himself off that grid. We know that the Alfa Romeo can launch off the grid, and he's taking full advantage of it. But the question is, how long is he going to be able to hold it off? Koikap's moved up into 3rd as well. Great start for the Koi, but it looks like Binko is now coming back at him as we come down into the hairpin. Koikap definitely not having a piece of that, because we know that Binko can be relentless in these corners because he's got the lighter car out of all. I think he's got the lightest car out of all of them, but he has got the major disadvantage of being front wheel drive. But so far everybody seems to have gotten away quite cleanly, and Binko was having a look on the outside of Boosted then, but was unable to capitalize on it. But now Koikap is having a look on the inside of Binko, but no, he's not able to get out of the corner quick enough. And now Rido's having a look at Koikap as we come down to the last corner, and oh, Koi's gone wide a little bit, but it's not compromised him too much. But we can see further up here, we're having Boosted having a look at Bazza. Is Bazza going to fight this one? I don't think he is. And Boosted comes up on the inside, in through we go. So Bazza drops down into 2nd. We saw the BMW squiggle a little bit as we came through that corner. It's still squiggling again, and Bazza is still having a look on the inside of Boosted. It's anybody's game at this point, and all this scrapping is inviting Binko into it. And now Bazza's going to have to defend from the relentless Scirocco, and we know that thing is going to be lightning quick coming down the hill. And you can see he's tucked into the toe of Boosted. Is he going to pull the trigger on Boosted yet again in the hairpin? He's going round the outside. We know that he's done that there, but he's done the old switcheroo to slingshot himself around the corner. But it looks like he hasn't got the momentum coming out of the corner, but he's going round the outside again. In fact, this is where he overtook in the last race, but it looks like he's not able to pull it off. No, he can pull it. Oh, how close was that? My word, these two can really race each other close in hand. barely put a cigarette paper in between them, and there's that little gap. But as we can see, oh, Boasted's gone wide a little bit there. It didn't look like there was any contact, so I think it may have just been, oh, whoa, 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 oh, no, Bazza's gone onto the grass, has hit the barrier hard. He's got damage, and he's got engine damage, so that thing is going to be moving like a bus. Oh, Rito must have dropped, and so Shiren. Oh no, them two must have had a small coming together, I wonder, because they weren't that far away from the pack that start. And oh, is that Boosted? That's Boosted slowing. Boosted is slowing. I wonder if he thinks that he might have been the result of Bazza hitting the wall. Quite possibly he's going very, very slow. So Boosted is seeing his chance of claiming back more points in his championship fade away, but we have to take our hats off to Boosted. We always say that if you think you've caused a collision, always do a redress, and we know that Boosted is a very gentlemanly driver. He's ruthless, he's aggressive, but at the end of the day, he is always a gentleman in honesty, and it is great to see it regardless. But this is just exactly what Binker... Look at the gap between himself and Koikarp, who is in second at the moment, and Guesty is in third. Oh, this is great to see Guesty fighting it out on the podium at last here on the MTCC. We know he can be a cracking driver on the day, but that 86 is really proving itself to be a handful, even in the Maestro's hands of Guesty, and now he moves up into second, and now he could be knocking on the podium. Could this will be his first podium in the entire season, and it'll be absolutely great. Look at the gap between them. Binko's already going around the first corner, and they've only just started across the start-finish line. That's how much of a gap that Binko has put on the rest of the pack. So he has once again left the chat and disappeared. So let's concentrate on these guys, because this is where all the action is, and I have a feeling it's the only place for the action. So Guesty and Koikarp all in the podium chances at the moment. Let's hope that they can keep their cars pointing in the right direction for that. It would be great to see Koi getting a third as well. Big Dan is in fourth. Mrs. Guesty is in fifth. She's taken full advantage of all the calamities that's happened in front of her. Oh, excuse me. Despite starting ninth, has now seen her move up into fifth, and that's going to be great for... Oh, God, I've got wins all of a sudden. Where's all this coming from? Oh, my apologies. What a grotesque person that is that's speaking to you right now, honestly. Has he no manners? Honestly. So far, Rito is in sixth, who's been absolutely hounded by Shiren. You can see the 141 on lap 2, so must have had some form of collision with Rito as well, because he's in a 140. But so far, it's all topsy-turvy at the moment. Boosted has dropped back to 8th after redressing with Bazza. So, second and third is now second to last and last respectively. That is how quickly MTCC can change at the blink of an eye. Ignore him, he's not relevant in this race anymore. As we can see that Guesty is still holding off for second. Is he going to get his first podium of MTCC Season 5, I wonder? Koikarp is managing well in third at the moment, who is being caught quickly by Big Dan at the back. I don't even know if Big Dan's had a podium. I'm going to have to quickly check on this, because unfortunately I have the memory of exactly naught. So I don't know if he has had a podium. I'm going to quickly look. I'm going to make... Yes, he has. I do apologise. He has definitely had a podium, but I don't think Koikarp has. Koikarp hasn't, so this could be his first podium as well. This is how much of a topsy-turvy race this has become, with Guesty and Koikarp knocking on the door of a podium victory right now. But Big Dan will have something to say about that in the Lexus. I've got to wonder if he's going to take advantage of it. Mind you, everybody's taking advantage of the small grid here today. Everybody's docking up huge hauls of points, and it's absolutely great to see. Mrs. Guesty still holding well in fifth for the Mitsubishi team, but mind you, she's been caught by her teammate in Rito, who's been hounded by Sharon. I don't think Sharon is going to have the inside line coming up to the first corner. The tight left-hander who's braving on the brakes, and it looks like it was Sharon as he squeezes through on the inside, and now he can start chasing down Mrs. Guesty. One Mitsubishi down, one more to go. Boosted has caught those three up. As I said, we know he can be quick. Oh no, everything all seems perfectly fine. But Sharon is really pushing that Hyundai to its absolute limit. He's really pushing the boundaries of the track, but I don't think he's been cutting corners intentionally. I'm sure it should be fine. As we were mentioning earlier, Boosted has managed to catch these three up, and I did say at the start, he's outside. He's a long outside chance of the championship, and we know that this guy can be quick, and he's already caught those three up. He's having a look at Rito, but it looks like he may need one more corner to get it done. He's sticking to the toe of... Oh, looks like it was Sharon going deep into that corner there as he's trying to find his way round Mrs. Guesty. There he goes. He can't make it work so far, and Rito's still holding off Boosted. So far, Rito's managing to hold his own against the super quick Boosted. And Bazza as well after that little accident we had on lap 2. And it doesn't look like he's making headways whatsoever. Like I said, ignore him. But so far, at the moment, Guesty is still holding well for second. This is going to be great for his confidence in that car. It'll be great to see the guy on the podium. We know he can be quick, but the luck he's had is really not worked out for him. Koikap as well, also looking for his first podium in Season 5 of MTCC, but he's going to have to fight for it, and it's going to be his mate in Big Dan. Oh, what the hell? That's new. I didn't know. I don't know how I did that. My apologies. Don't know what happened there, but that was weird. We'll have to look into that one. But as we can see, his mate Big Dan is having a look to go around the outside. He hasn't got the inside coming through the next right-hander. But so far, Koikap putting up an absolutely solid defence. And Big Dan's going to have to work really hard if he wants to steal the podium away from Koikap. I'm sure he would love a podium here. It would do great wonders for him in the championship as well. And Sharon has managed to get himself ahead of Mrs. Guesty, who has now got to deal with her teammate once again in Rito, who's also been hounded by Booster. Oh, looks like Mrs. Guesty went a little bit too deep there. Rito took advantage of it, and now she's having to deal with Boosted. It looks like she's going to defend from Boosted. She wants as many points as she can get her hands on as she plays the inside wall, but it looks like it's not going to be enough, and Boosted launches himself up the inside of Mrs. Guesty. We knew it was going to happen, but she definitely made those two fight hard for it, and credit to her. She's a little bit out of her league in that situation, but it's great to see her put up a fight with these guys, and we applaud you for it, love. Keep scrapping with these guys. We don't care. We absolutely love it. And you've already had a podium, then it was brilliant to see. And let's hope that it's not going to be the last we see of her on the podium either. But now she's been caught by Bazza, so it may look like it could be last place for her again. But with the lack of competitors today, she's still going to get a very, very chunky amount of points for her in the championship. And you just got to wait for Bazza to pull the trigger, and he'll go through into 8th. But so far it's all about this man. For God's sakes, look at that. Has this guy got cheat codes on today or something? That consistency is ridiculous. Guesty so far in 2nd. He's not able to put a dent in Binko's championship, so it looks like 2nd is going to be the best for him today, but it's still going to be a podium. And what What a comeback it has been for Guesty, and it's going to be great to see him up there. Big Dan has managed to get ahead of Koikart for third place, so it looks like he's going to steal Koikart's podium, and he's going to be absolutely gutted, but he's still in a striking distance of Big Dan as we come down the hill. He's having a look on the inside as we go around the hairpin, the banked hairpin. I have to say, that's a great corner. I do love tackling that banked hairpin. It's an absolute beauty, and it looks like that so far Big Dan has managed to hold off the attack from Koikart. We all know that this guy's going to be coming back at him again. Oh, that was Big Dan going into the grass. He's pushing that Lexus to the absolute limit, but he doesn't want to be pushing too hard, because otherwise he's going to be pointing it in the wrong direction, and Koikart will take the podium back. But these two will have to make some form of alliance if they want to keep Shiren behind them, because he is approaching, and the more they fight, the more they're going to invite Shiren into this, and the more they're going to invite Boosted into it as well, because we know that this guy's quick, and after the redress he did with Bazza, he is making up for lost ground. It's a great recovery drive regardless, and you really got to take your hats off to him. He was miles off the pack, and he's already made his way up in, and I think this guy is going to be one to watch in the future. Rido as well in 7th. It's not been his race so far. Managed to 4th in race 1, and it looks like it's going to be 7th for race 2, but race 3 could change everything. Mrs. Guesty still holding well in 8th. That's great to see. She's still in 8th. Bazza must have made a small mistake. It looks like he has. It's 134, so it looks like he is going to unfortunately be last. It's still going to be a huge amount of points. We've got yellow flag. Who's that? It's spawned. Don't let it be. Oh no, it's Rido. Unfortunately, poor Rido has now dropped into 9th, but we're going to have to cut to the front, because once again, it's Binko taking the flag. He won race 1, and he's won race 2. Congratulations, Binko. Now we wait for eternity and oblivion, and here comes Guesty to take his first podium in the MTCC. Well done, Guesty. Cracking job. Koikart has managed to get Big Dan at the end, and he is going to take his podium again. So Koikart gets 3rd, Big Dan gets 4th. Shiren holds off Boosted for 5th as he comes home in 6th. And Mrs. Guesty she's going to get one more place when she didn't think it was going to have it. She gets 7th. Bazza comes home in 8th, and poor Rido comes home in 9th. And there we go. That is race 2. So Binko so far is absolutely dominating round 7. He's took pole. He won race 1 with the fastest lap, and he's won race 2 with the fastest lap. Although he did a 28.5 in lap 9. So, there goes your consistency. Learn your place. Guesty comes home in 2nd after all the heartbreak he has had in that 86. It has finally paid off for him, and he gets a podium here at Lago Maggiore, and I'm sure he's going to be absolutely thrilled with that one. Koikart also gets his first podium of season 5, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be very, very, very happy with that one after holding it off for Big Dan, who comes home in 4th. Great scrap between those two, it has to be said. Shiren coming home in 5th. I think he had another spin on lap 2, so he's had another great recovery drive to get himself in 5th. Didn't he get 5th last time as well? I think he did. Boosted as well, come home in 6th. The gentleman that he is pulled over to let Bazza through, and he has had the recovery drive and a half to get himself up into 6th. I take thy hat off to you, sir, for that one. Mrs. Guesty comes home in 7th. It's an unexpected 7th. We thought it was going to be 8th, maybe 9th, but she's done one better and has come home in 7th. Bazza as well. Commiserations, my friend. the resident barrier inspector. I'm sure he's not particularly fond of that one. Unfortunately decided to do his job at the last minute, and it saw him drop to the back of the pack, but he's managed to make it up, and he's in striking distance of the others, so he did quite well, and a little bit of luck to come home in 8th. Rido, unfortunately, must have been pushing the Mitsubishi far too hard. We saw him go off at the banked hairpin and saw him drop to 9th. And well, we said it in the first one, lack of people here, it still means you're going to get a good haul of points. Wow. Besides the boring git winning everything, it's been quite an interesting round despite the lack of numbers. It's definitely, race 1 was definitely heating up for 2nd and 3rd, it has to be said. So, let's go to race 3, and we can put round 7 to bed. Oh, there's only 3 more races to go. Only 3 more. Or is it? Yeah, it is only. Oh, don't look. Nearly off the ball game then. Yeah, only 3 more of this. I'm going to be gutted to see this go. Not going to lie, MTCC is one of my favourite seasons, and it's going to be sad to see it go, but it's great to see it on GT7. Oh, it isn't damage. I do apologise, Rido. I actually didn't notice that. Oh, I honestly thought that was damage behind your wheel, but it isn't. It's a Castrol Mitsubishi. Oh, I do apologise. Never noticed that before. Go figure. So, race 3 grid. We know it's the race 2 results reverse, so we have Rido leading us off on pole, then we have Bazza in 2nd, Mrs. Guesty in 3rd. Boosty's got a great chance to take victory away from Binko here in 4th. Big Dan in 5th. No, Sharon in 5th, should I say, apologise. Big Dan is in 6th, Koikap in 7th, Guesty in 8th, and Binko starting last, and he's going to be the man on the absolute charge. But we will focus on the chaps in front. We will get them going. So Rido leads us off. Remember, there's no lights to come. It's just literally lights on and off we go for race 3 here at Lago Maggiore. And so far they've all gotten clean through. Binko swinging wide there already. Not quite sure what that one's all about, but as we come through the first corner, it looks like they're all getting through squeaky cleany. And it looks like we're it's all where it left off so far. No, that's Binko moving up into 8th. He's already got Guesty already. Wow, he is not prattling about. But so far, Rido still holding in the lead. We've seen this before as well, where he's been leading and it's been stolen from him at the last minute. Is he going to be finally get the win he's been so desperately looking for? But Baz is going to have something to say about that, as so far he's stolen off in 2nd. Boosted has now got himself into 3rd and the podium. That was Rido touching the gravel, but it looks like it hasn't affected him too badly. So Boosted is still managing to hold off in 3rd. Mrs. Guesty is dropping like a brick. She's now been overtaken by Sharon up into 4th. And can Sharon be the thorn in Boosted side today, I wonder? Mrs. Guesty currently dropping back to 5th. Big Dan is still in 6th. Binko's moving up into 7th already. He's already got Guesty. He's already got Koikap. And now it looks like he's going to have Big Dan as we come down to the long left-hander onto the start-finish straight. And it looks like he's got him already, but Big Dan's going to make him work round the outside. But we know that thing is going to absolutely launch down that straight. And it looks like he's telling us that he's managed to get it, and yes, there we go. Guesty tucking into the toe as well, wanting to get ahead of Big Dan as we come up to the left-hander. He's gone deep a little bit. Oh, I thought Guesty was going to hit him there at the moment, but Binko moving up into 6th already, and this man is absolutely flying. Koikap is still holding well in 8th, and there's Guesty in 9th, so it looks like the curse of the 86 has come back to bite him after that cracking 2nd place he got in race 2, and now it's all been reset all over again. Poor Guesty, when is he going to have a break in that Toyota? But so far, Rido is still holding off well, leading this race at the moment. Boosted has managed to get himself ahead of Bazza and moved up into second. He knows that if he wants to win a race today, he has really got to pull that BMW to its absolute limit. Push every micrometer of the track limits and use every available bit of grip he has in those tyres to really get himself ahead. But it looks like the BMW is just far too heavy for this track. But he's making it work so far. But can he make a dent in Rido's lead? Bazza now down into third and is being absolutely hounded by Sharon in the Hyundai. But is he going to be able to hold off the Russian sensation for a little bit longer? There's Mrs. Guesty now being overtaken by Binko. He is not wasting any time. We're on lap 3 already, and Binko's moved up into 5th. He knows he's got every point to think about. With his only championship rival not in the picture today, he's got to take absolute maximum advantage of it, and so far he's managing to do just that. And if he's able to get a win and the fastest lap here on the last race, you have to say getting maximum points in MTCC is difficult enough. But if anybody can do it, it is this lunatic. Big Dan currently dropping down to 7th. He had such a great start, but it looks like he may have just bitten off a little more than he can chew. But so far he's managing to make himself work as he just gets ahead of Mrs. Guesty, and Koikap slips through as well into 7th. So it looks like these two are going to be scrapping it out on track all over again. They were scrapping it out in race 1. They scrapped it out in race 2. And it looks like they're going to have to scrap it out in race 3 all over again. But these two are great friends off track, and I think they absolutely love it. But they have a third contender to think about in Mrs. Guesty, and she's definitely given them, well, I was going to say she is keeping up with them, but it looks like they've managed to pull off a little bit of a gap at the moment. And I think this is maybe a round that she'd be willing to forget. I think she said she struggled here at Lago. I could be wrong. I think she said it wasn't one of her strongest tracks, but she's doing all right. She's doing great. It's still great to see her on track, and we still have Guesty in 9th after that spin on lap 2. It just never ends for him, does it? Bless him. But so far, Rido's still holding off the lead, but here comes Boosted. We didn't think, to be fair, and all credit to Rido, he's managed it to last this long, but the pure pace of Boosted, it was only going to be a matter of time. But he's still got a little bit of a gap to consider, and I don't think he's only gaining it little by little. So, at the moment, this can be Rido's to win. As long as he keeps his head down, pointing in the right direction, doesn't make any silly mistakes, I think he could have this one. Boosted might have something to say about it regardless, but he does have the fastest lap so far though, so I wonder if he's going to be able to put a dent in the maximum points haul for Binko. So far in 3rd though, Sharon is still holding off for 3rd, but look who's behind him. He's in 4th already. He's made light work of Bazza, I assume, although I'm sure Bazza is thinking, what on earth is in that Scirocco, because that thing is just lightning and I can't keep up with it. I think I call hacks. But so far at the moment, up into 4th. Oh, that's Rido getting spun by Boosted. Oh no, that's not what he needs. Oh no, actually, Rido's managed to recover and Boosted has dropped back. Sharon takes advantage of the calamity and goes up into 2nd. Boosted did hang back to probably redress with Rido, and he's invited Binko into this, and he has just seen a lifeline thrown in his way to perhaps steal the win from Rido yet again. As we can see, going up the hill, going down the hill, the pure grunt of the Scirocco takes advantage. He gets the fastest lap out of it as well. For God's sake, somebody put some bricks in that car or something, honestly. But so far, Binko has now moved into 3rd place of the podium and is eyeing up the Russian sensation Sharon. And what on earth can you do to stop this guy? Maybe put some bricks in his car like I suggested, I don't know. Bazza so far holding well off in 4th. Actually, to be fair, I think Boosted has caught up Binko a little bit. He's not letting him get away that easily. I I tell you what, we'd love to see these two scrap it out. Yeah, let's see how good you are in even machinery, yeah, Bingo? Yeah, I know that score. I know that score. Rido going defensive. He knows he's being threatened by Sharon at the back. Sharon not playing the toe game. He thinks better of it, but he's having a look on the inside. Sharon was really late on the brakes there, but oh no, and there's Binko having a look on the inside. There's Rido going wide onto the grass. Sharon takes advantage of it. Binko squeezes his way through. Oh no, that's Rido going wide yet again. Poor Rido, he's not able to find a break in this race at all. So Sharon now takes the lead of this race, but unfortunately, he's got Binko right behind him. Sharon now trying to break the toe. Binko not playing that game. Probably thinks he doesn't need it either, the cheeky monkey. And there we go, he goes round the outside of Sharon, but Sharon's having a look at him on the inside in the banked hairpin. But oh, he's lost the back end a little bit. Sharon's out to back off, and Binko takes the lead yet again. And it looks like it's going to be game, set and match unless somebody else can really put a damper on Binko's chances here today. There's Boosted having a look on the inside of Sharon, but it looks like he's managed to hold it off. Yes, there we go. So Boosted now goes up on the inside of Sharon and takes second place, and maybe he could chase down Binko in the latter stages of this race. It's going to be a tall order, considering that man has been on absolute fire for this entire round. But if anybody can put a damper on that flame, it will be Boosted. Maybe Sharon could do it as well. Sharon tucking in to the toe of Boosted. Who's going to be braver on the brakes? It looks like they were both on the same time. But Boosted defending the inside corner from a Sharon onslaught. And it looks like he'll have to put up another fight for another day. But there's a slight bang here and there. Doesn't look like it was too serious. But let's not forget, the more that these two are fighting, the more that Binko is getting away from them. But to be fair, I think it's going to be a tall order to stop that man today. He's an absolute mission and a half. Rido, despite the calamities of going off and losing the back end, is still holding well for fourth, but he's got Bazza for company, who's had a very, very cracking round 7 here at Lago Maggiore, and he's going to get some really, really good points by the end of this. And it looks like he's going to have to battle it out for Rido yet again. They were battling for a very, very big chunk of race 1, and it looks like they've come to meet each other yet again in race 3. That was Rido going a little bit too deep there, and now they both go a little bit too deep round the left-hander. And it looks like I thought Bazzo was going to have a look on the inside going through that corner, but must have felt he didn't have the momentum to make it work. But so far, Binko pulling off an absolute gap and a half to Boosted, with Sharon still in second, Rido still in fourth, and Bazza in fifth. Let's have a look back here. Big Dan, quite a gap between himself and Bazza, still with Koikart for company. Guesty has caught them up, so he's managing to do a little bit of damage control, and he's doing well to keep with Koi and Big Dan. And I wonder if he's going to be able to salvage more points, going a little bit too deep there, but it doesn't look like it's cost him all that much. And Mrs. Guesty still holding off well in ninth, but it looks like it's really I think this guy's got hack codes on. Look at that. A 127.369 for lap 4 and 5. I think this man's got cheat codes on. Stewards, can we investigate his car, please? Boosted still doing well in second, doing everything he can with the heavy BMW, but it just looks like it just hasn't got any reply to Binko's cheating pace. I can say it. I said it. Yeah, I said it. I don't think he has an answer to Bingo's pace today, and you have to say it looks like second. Oh, Boosted's got the fastest lap. So Boosted has got the start. Boosted has found some pace from somewhere, and it looks like, I don't think, oh, you do get a point for the fastest lap, don't you? So it looks like he's going to steal away a point from Binko there. I don't think it's going to matter, but I think that'll be one up against Binko in this race. Sharon doing well in third as well. We've seen him on the podiums a few times as well. I think he's definitely had a win. I don't know if he's had more than one though, but great to see him on the podium yet again. And it looks like this is going to be another trophy going back to I've forgotten where he's moved to now, I do apologise. Rido in fourth, doing well to hold off Bazza. He's been fighting Bazza for the majority of this round, and Bazza just does not have an answer to the defence that Rido is putting up. And he was having a look on the inside of Rido going through that fast round. There we go. As soon as I said it, Bazza squeezes up on the inside and takes fourth place, but Rido's not letting him get away with it that quickly. It's Mitsubishi versus Alfa Romeo, and it's so far at the moment it looks like the Alfa Romeo has got the slight upper hand of the Mitsubishi, but can he make it work all the way to the end? Wow, we're on the last lap already. Good lord, the time is going too quickly. Koikab has moved up into sixth and has still got Big Dan and Guesty for company. That's going to be great to see these three duke it out. In fact, let's watch these three duke it out for a little bit. Let's see these guys duke it out. Oh, that was a little bit cheeky from Big Dan, playing the defensive game at the last minute, but I think it's no harm, no foul. It doesn't look like any of them have compromised each other too much. But it looks like they've all gotten away just fine, and now they can scrap it all over again, and this is for sixth place, but every single point will count. And actually, Dan's in the middle of a admin sandwich here, because Koikap's an admin and Guesty's a moderator, so he's the meeting and admin sandwich, and it looks like Guesty's pulled the trigger on the pair of them. Not sure if he collided with Koikap there a little bit. I think he is redressing, and Big Dan has taken advantage of it and takes sixth place, should I say, from the calamity between Guesty and Koikap. And he looks like he's going to get more points than he bargained for, but we're going to have to skip to the front, because once again, the man with the cheat codes is going to come through to take victory in race one, but it's not by a country mile. So Binko takes the win for race 3. Boosted comes home in second. Sharon coming home in third. A great podium for him. Bazza in fourth with Rido. I do apologise. Rido in fifth. Big Dan manages to come home in sixth. A great result from these three, as Koikab and Guesty comes home in seventh and eighth respectively. And Mrs. Guesty bringing up the rear, coming home in ninth. And breathe. Whew. For only 9 races, that was quite action-packed to say the least. So there we go. Binko takes another win here at round 7. We did say that with the absence of Homesick Alien, he's going to have to be in maximum attack mode, and he has done that with 3 victories, a pole and 2 fastest laps. But it looks like Boosted has broken the whitewash of Binko, gets the fastest lap, just a few, on lap 8 there. It looks like second was probably going to be the best as he got, but he didn't get away from it. He didn't get let Binko. No, I can't even speak now. I'm that tired, honestly. I am that tired. Right, let's start again. Brain engaged. Even though he came home in second, he didn't let Binko get all that far ahead of him, so it looks like he did have the pace, but it's just not been his day. But he'll still be happy with the 2 seconds, no doubt about it. Sharon coming home in third, another great podium for the Russian sensation, and I'm sure he'll be loving the good haul of points that come with it. Bazza flying the flag high for the Alfa Romeo, the solo Alfa Romeo today, coming home in fourth. We thought, no, he did get a third in race 1, and then it just all went downhill for him, bless him. And well, to be fair, at fourth, it's still a great result for him at the end of the day, and I think he's just having a great laugh out of it. Rido comes home in fifth, what could have been, but just a few just a few tiny mistakes here and there, and still fifth is great to see, and I'm sure he'll be maybe slightly disappointed with performance, but it's still going to be good points. Big Dan coming home in sixth. We thought it wasn't going to be sixth, but a small calamity between Kuikap and Guesty saw him go through and grab a few more points at the end of it. Kuikap as well thought a sixth was on the cards, but it just wasn't meant to be. And I'm sure he'll be pleased with the seventh, or maybe slightly ticked at the small coming together. Guesty as well coming home in eighth. The late lunge on Kuikap. We thought the move was done, but it looks like it might have been a little bit of a naughty and the redress. So hats off to you, Guesty, for the gentlemanly conduct, and finishes in eighth. But he has had a podium, and I'm sure that'll be something to keep his head high with. And Mrs. Guesty coming home in ninth. It looks like maybe like Majori isn't for her, but you've done well, you've seen it through, and I think ninth is great for the points coming in for you. I know it may be last, but, well, I think you did all right. I think you've done pretty well, so I think you should keep your head high for that one. And there we go. Round 7 of MTCC is done. And I think it's going to be safe to say that this man has taken the lead back off the championship. It's just going to be a question now of whether Homesick Alien can bring the fight back to him, or whether the points deficit is going to be too much for him now, as we move on to round 8, which will be at Laguna Seca. So we're going stateside, so that's going to be absolutely cracking to see, and whether Homesick can bring the championship fight back to Minko, who's clearly whitewashed the event, but we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be an absolute belter, so you really, really won't want to miss that one. So, not sure when I'll get it done. I say that all the time. I really should stop, because everyone's saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do it this week, and things happen. So I'm not going to say it anymore. I'm not going to say it, but I will say is stay tuned for it. And as we know, the best way to stay tuned for it is to subscribe to us here at the Virtual Racers Club. Give it a thumbs up as well, so I know that I'm still doing a good job of it. And apparently YouTube likes these things for the whole algorithm malarkey. I've never understood it personally, but what do I know? If I was an IT man, I'd be doing IT, but I'm not. I'm literally a grease monkey, so no idea. Yes, we have round 8 of the MTCC to come, which is at Laguna Seca, which I will bring soon. But more, yes, going on, yeah, hit like and subscribe. I've done that. Oh, yes, as well, if you want to be a part of us here at the Virtual Racers Club, the link in the description to our Discord. It will ask you to accept the invite. It will take you straight there. If you want to get to be a part of us, just fill in the application form with a race number, and then maybe we'll be seeing you in future events. And I look forward to seeing you all there, and maybe some new faces too, but never mind. But I will leave it to God's sakes, wake up. I will leave you to the rest of your morning. So with that, I am going to sign off as your broadcaster and commentator. Insert comical name here, and hopefully I will see you all next time. So until we meet again, have fun.